Dan Sanker. Dad. This is my dad. I wrote down a couple of things on my phone. I don't know if I'll be able to do it justice, but I'll try. Um, you were there whenever we needed you. In fact, the best way I think a lot of people in our family know to guarantee a visit was to actually need help with anything. They would hop in the car and they would usually call me from someplace in Alabama or Mississippi on their 16-hour drive out to see me. They did a lot. They traveled around the country to remote Native American reservations to help people with dental work, and Joe was a first responder for the National Guard. He provided dental care. He helped and encouragement for the troops before they were deployed. Locally, he worked at Volunteers in Medicine, helped people who were underserved in dental work. And up until the end, he was an inspiration. He was at the gym when I called. He was playing tennis. He was preparing for his cooking group. He had a perfectionist streak that a lot of us will all remember. We used to call him jokingly the cheetah because we were waiting for him all the time because he was trying to do everything perfect. He kind of had this feeling that if you were going to do it, you should do it right and you should do it perfectly. You never really know why your kids remember the little things they remember. I'm sure I did some things that they'll remember and that I don't even remember happening. I remember one time when I was 6 years old, he was building a patio in the backyard. And I asked him why he doesn't have a professional person to do that. And he said, if there's anything that anybody can do, you can do it. And it stuck with me. Whatever it is, he always said, if anyone can do it, you can do it. And that was just a patio. But it's a concept that I'll always remember, and I hope the kids also remember.
Let me say one. And
this is Bob.
Yeah.
Brother Bob.
Not only that, he'd say, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
It's true, too.
So, that was another line.
Eve and Joe lived life together for about 64 years. It's really amazing. It's an inspiration. I remember hearing about trips. I just wrote down, they went to Thailand, to China, to Spain, to Israel, to Mexico, Bermuda, Canada, Italy, Sweden, Turkey, Finland, Brussels, the Netherlands, France, England, Hawaii, Alaska. And I think the coolest legacy was in the silly stuff we did. Joe had a silly streak. I don't think me, Julian, or John will forget this silly thing we did. He took us out with Grandma to a kazoo factory nearby here, stopped at McDonald's on the way home, and we ordered everything off the dollar menu. And I kind of feel like that is a legacy that we'll never forget, because if stuff like that, if you can have fun doing stuff like that, you can be happy for the rest of your life. So now, clearly our hearts are burdened. We sit here, we miss him. We feel a void, emptiness, and grief. We've lost a part of us, of our existence, really. We have to remind ourselves that he's still here. He's got an enduring legacy. I am who I am because of him. Every day, he'll still be with me in my heart and my head. And I'm going to pass that along as much as I can. I always knew that from him, I can do anything, I can be anything, and that I should. We'll miss him for the time, the fun, and the laughter that we shared. I'm sure we'll each miss him in our own personal way for all the intangible things that you just can't describe with words. You've taken your last step on a journey. And although you've left, you'll never be forgotten. You'll never be gone. And in the tomorrows that come, you'll walk beside us, and you'll speak your name all the time. And when we close our eyes, we'll still smile because he lived.
I'll try to give this a try. And I may repeat a few things, but Dad's used to that. He's repeating things quite a bit. For those of you who know my dad, would agree was very special. He grew up in Jersey City, New Jersey, with one older brother. His father was a pharmacist in Jersey City. He attended Lincoln High School in Jersey City and later went to Rutgers University. He was proud of telling everyone he went to Newark Rutgers, even though my mom must have told him 100 times, "Don't say that. Tell him you went to Rutgers, the main campus." But no, Dad had to keep telling everybody that. So nevertheless, he spent about 2.5 years at Newark Rutgers. And then he applied to dental school early. He didn't even graduate from dental school. And I think his guidance counselor said, "You don't have a..."
Didn't graduate from undergrad.
Undergrad at Newark. His guidance counselor said, "You don't have a snowball chance in hell in getting into dental school." And so, lo and behold, he got into Wash U in St. Louis. And off he went, and my mom also went with him. And he persevered. He met my mom, the love of his life, when they were in their early 20s or younger. I guess my mom was 18, he was 22. After 4 years of dental school, Dad enlisted in the Army, and there was no war at the time, so he was enlisted as a captain, and they went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and 2 years there, of which he always had great memories of Fort Bragg and just being in the Army and just working, being out of dental school, and starting a family. And my sister Polly was born there. Not the most beautiful town, I should say, but after dental school, I think they returned to Jersey City, and my dad had a few associateship jobs in dentistry, and then eventually they moved down further in New Jersey, and he started his own practice in Middletown, New Jersey, in a home office. And as kids, we used to run through the house and watch him doing his thing, and in those days it was different. He practiced in that home office for several years until he built his own facility, like a very close by. Sometime during that time, and a couple houses later, my brother Dan came along. He's the younger brother. He's about 8 years younger than me and 9 years younger than Polly. So we were a family of 5. My dad practiced general dentistry in New Jersey for about 20 years. And then he got a bug. He said he wanted to learn some more things. So he said he applied to a specialty program up in New York City. And he was accepted with some, big name dentists up there. And so he spent the next 4 years after that. I guess he was in his mid-40s, I don't know. And he, as we say, schlepped up to New York City from New Jersey, which was an hour ride on the train. And he specialized. He became a specialist in prosthodontics. And then after that, he became a teacher at the New Jersey College of Dentistry and continued to have a huge passion for dentistry. Over the years, I'm a dentist as well. So over the years, going to meetings and things, I just run into dentists and they say, "Oh yeah, my dad was your instructor in dental school." So, he was way ahead of his time. I remember him saying 35 years ago that dental implants would become the thing of the future, and here they are today. So he really had a passion for dentistry, and a testament to that is that he talked several people, including myself, into going into dentistry. And it wasn't just talking them into it, it was just that passion. And I think Mark Ellis, who's married to my first cousin, Cheryl, he's here today too. He's a dentist. But After retiring, he continued to work contract jobs, as Dan said, for the National Guard and the National Health Indian reservations, and even covered my office once in a while for illnesses or vacations. As of lately in Hilton Head, he's been with the VIM clinic, and he's enjoyed helping Dan with all his businesses endeavors and his grandchildren. He's got 7 grandchildren: Eric, Scott, Lisa, Erica, Lauren, Julian, and John, and 6 great-grandchildren. He was an avid tennis player, and that's probably what brought my mom and him, to Hilton Head. I originally started off taking tennis lessons at Vandermeer. He was also active in his cooking club, as Dan mentioned, and the homeowners. So anyhow, Dan affectionately would call my dad the cheetah, because he was, invariably if we were going somewhere, we were sitting in the car already and waiting for my dad. And he was pretty much checking the doors and lights and things like that. And pretty much I spent about the first 20 years of my life not even knowing that you had to turn the lights off or close or lock the doors. Probably was when I got married that I learned that. Because Dad used to take care of all that stuff. So, and actually I told my mom recently that she's going to be okay because he's left instructions all over the house already. Okay? So just follow those instructions, Mom, and you're going to be fine. Okay? One other funny story is that, I'm a dentist now, and I even see we didn't practice together, but I see some of his patients because they've moved to Washington and this or that, and actually see people that I grew up with, like Jeff Goldman here from years ago. And people, when I was a kid, people used to come up to me all the time and they say, "Oh, I was in the office today, I saw your dad, and he sent me to the moon." And that was, in those days, he didn't want to hurt anyone, so instead of giving him an injection, he would just gas him up with nitrous, but he called it going to the moon. So people would come up to me and say, "I went to the moon today." But, so anyhow, I suspect my dad's on the moon or someplace else like that right now, and I'm sure, he's comfortable, and we're going to all miss him a great deal. And but we have terrific memories, and he's been a terrific mentor for all of us. So.
Hi, I'm Polly Rebeck. That's my dad. I guess my brothers have covered it a lot about my dad. But one thing I can add is that he was the best dad any girl could ever want. He really was. Always. He was just, he always took the time. And he was just a wonderful dad. That's all I'm gonna say.